So I don't have my phone on me, so I wrote down my words on a whiteboard so I could keep track. The first word, I'm gonna show it again just in case. Just in case. So the first word I have is a bad of effect, and that is when we use something to get rid of. So like if you have food because you're hungry and you eat that food, you're not hungry anymore. That is the good reinforcer. But then as you start to digest your food, the satisfaction of being full slowly starts to go away, and that is what a bad of effect is. It's when the action that was reinforcing what we were doing slowly starts to lose its effect. So same thing, like if I were to get something for good grades, I'd feel really happy in that moment, but slowly as like time went on, that reward that I got for that behavior, I won't be thinking about it constantly like I did when I first got the reward. The second word that I have is abolishing operation, and that is when we're getting rid of we're using a reinforcer to get rid of a condition is the best way I can say it. So again, with the food, if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat food, and then I'm going to be abolishing that motivator to get the reinforcer. The third one is antecedent, and that is the environment or condition that happens before the environment or condition that happens before the behavior happens. And then the antecedent for the fourth one, antecedent intervention, is when you have, so in that environment and condition, you change the environment and condition to change the behavior. An artifact is a measurement or an outcome that we get, but it's a little tricky because the measurement or outcome is not what we're actually looking for. It has nothing to do what we were has nothing to do with what we were trying to get the outcomes for, if that makes sense. So like if I wanted an outcome, this is really stupid, but like 2 + 2, if I wanted an outcome or measurement for 2 + 2, when I say 5 instead of 4, that answer for 5 is not answering the 2 + 2. You can do that with behavior too, but I think math makes more sense in my head. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th word is automatic reinforcer, and that is when the reinforcement happens inside, like internally. So instead of getting a physical thing like, oh, you did a good job, Josephine, here's a token. This is a physical reinforcer. This is not automatic. I do not get this automatically after I do an action or I do a behavior that is a wanted behavior. I get automatic reinforcement when I, for example, study for a test really hard. I've been studying for like a week, and then I get an A on my test. That reinforcement I feel inside of being happy, proud of myself, wanting to keep doing better is the automatic reinforcement that this is talking about. The 7th one is backup reinforcers, and that is like a token. So if these were what kids really, really wanted in the 2nd grade, and they were motivators, so this would be a motivator for a kid, a teacher could have a box of toys or objects or expo erasers in a bin, and students would collect tokens, or Monopoly Cash or something, and after they get enough of those tokens / Monopoly Cash, whatever the tokens are, they can go and get their reinforcers. So I had this when I was in the resource room when I was in elementary school, and we would get Monopoly Cash, and then once a month she would bring out the backup reinforcers, and we would get to buy the reinforcer. Next one is baseline, and that is when it's the data that you collect before you do an intervention. So the baseline is like if I were to take data on how many times a kid spoke out before an intervention, that is their regular behavior in a classroom or in any sort of setting. That's their baseline, and I take that over a period of days. And then obviously the intervention is their behavior after the intervention of how often they speak out. The ninth one is adversive stimulus, and that is just an uncomfortable, unwanted condition or environment. So adversive stimulus is cold. We talked about that. Cold, you get a jacket, or it's too hot and you take off the jacket. So yeah, and then the last one is backward chaining, and that is when a teacher and a student are working on a task together, and the teacher will do the task, the entire task up until the last step, and then they have the student do the last step, and then they will do the task and then wait till the second to last step. They'll stop at this, and then they'll have the student do the second to last step and the last step, and it'll keep going like that until the student can do the entire task by themselves. So those were my words. Peace out.